Let's talk about Palantir. What the hell is going on with Palantir? What happened? Why it happened? And most importantly, what I think is going to happen next. Welcome to another video. My name is Tom Nash, former senior financial analyst, now YouTuber. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. That is insane. Thank you guys, but this is not why we're here for. Let's talk about Palantir. The crazy roller coaster ride that is Palantir. I want to give you some insight about what exactly happened, why it happened, and most importantly, what I think is going to happen next. So stick around because I think you really need to listen to this information if you're considering investing in Palantir, or you might have already invested and you want to seek guidance as far as what you should do next. Now, as always, none of this is for actual advice purposes. This is just for entertainment. This is my opinion, and strictly as such, it should not be treated as an investment advice. Do your own research, blah, 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 allegedly. Let's get started. So, on November 23rd, I made a video about Palantir. And in that video, this is what I said. Right now, this is just the bottom line. I don't like to, hold you hostage. Let's just get to the meet and greet. So this is the valuation I got, which is 33 billion, which is slightly higher than what they have today. And this is my target share price for today. So if I had to buy the share today, this is what I'm seeing, almost $20. So as you know, right now, the share is traded at 18.15. This is the weekend, so it's not going to change when I publish this video. So 18.15, meaning that I think that this company right now, currently, is 10% undervalued today. And just to give you some reference, when this video came out on November 23rd, nobody was really talking about Palantir like that. Nobody expected huge things out of Palantir. We did that video. We basically said, hey, there's a $2 upside right now. It's undervalued. And we believe there's a 5x as far as the next few years, as far as growth. It is what it is. However, what happened is after our video came out, literally within days, this stock went ballistic. It went almost to $30 in a matter of days. Now, that was crazy, but I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, I saw a $12 upside within a matter of days. When it hit $30, something interesting happened. Citron Research came out and said, hey, the price is overvalued, and it took a little bit of a dive to about $26. But then, a few more days go by, and on December 2nd, Morgan Stanley actually came out and said, hey, the share is overvalued, and it fell all the way down to $22, which is still higher than the price that I showed you in my DCF. However, after that pullback, which was somewhat expected, I mean, if the price always goes ballistic, there's always a pullback. So there were a couple of pullbacks back to reality, so to speak, but then it kind of corrected itself again, and it's about 24, 23.8 right now, which is still a little bit over what I see it today, but I mean, the potential is there. So what's my bottom line here? The stock was good, it was undervalued, we did a video about it. I'm sure other smart people saw exactly the same things I saw, and they recommended to their clients to buy more of the share. A lot of people started buying that share, the price went through the roof, FOMO took over, the fear of missing out caused people to buy it even more, jumping the price to almost $30 pretty much overnight, and then it pulled back because people came out and said, hey, it's overvalued. Citron Research, Morgan Stanley, people listen to these guys, and rightfully, I mean, they're not idiots. So in order to give you an answer about what's next for the stock, you have to understand my way of thinking, my methodology. And for me, there's one question. What do I think about the stock long term? Because if I like the stock long term, the swings make no difference. The fact that the share goes up and down, swings up, swings down, it doesn't matter. If I see a 5x potential within the next 4 years, it doesn't matter if the share price right now is 25, 20, or 15. There's still a lot of upside to be made if you believe in the stock. Now, here's the thing I keep missing. All of these YouTubers talking about these stocks don't understand the tech. They're all good at saying Palantir helps to predict crimes, which is a very general way of describing what they do. But let me just give you a quick recap of what they do. And again, I'm not an engineer. This is just based on my little bit in-depth research as a layman. Now, here's the thing. What Palantir does essentially divides into two brackets. They have the security bracket, which a lot of the government agencies use as far as predicting crime, let's call it that way, right? They gather a lot of data and they basically produce information that allows law enforcement agencies to predict what's going to happen next, apprehend people, arrest, fine, all that good stuff law enforcement agencies do. That has been around for years. That is called Gotham. They also have a second product called Foundry. Now, Foundry is a platform that based on that platform, they build specific products for specific industries. For example, they're working with Airbus with Foundry. And what Foundry does, essentially Airbus manufactures aircraft. These aircraft get purchased by airlines. And each aircraft has a black box. That black box generates 1 million data points every freaking flight. It's a lot of data. There's not really a lot you can do with 1 million data points per flight, just because it's too much data to do anything with it. Now, when there's a crash, God forbid, this is a very valuable data and they use it to figure out what happened and make planes safer. But what if I told you that you could do all that, make planes safer, more efficient, fuel economy, comfort, everything without having the planes crash? You can generate all that data, put it in one system, and learn a lot about how to make these planes better, cheaper, and more comfortable. That's exactly what they do for Airbus, without, of course, letting each single airline access private information of the other airline, which is key. Now, that's a very simplistic way of explaining what they do, but the value here is insane. In fact, when I hear people comparing this company to Snowflake, I laugh. Because what they have is a much more complicated set of technology for a much wider set of applications at a much earlier stage. You have to understand that even though Palantir was around for 17 freaking years, they've only now started working in the commercial sector. They pretty much had no salespeople up until a few years ago. And now they're already at 50% of their business already coming from commercial. That means that these guys are just getting started generating these products for the commercial sector and they're already killing it. And just a quick glance at the Palantir tech shows you that they have a lot of upside. Why? Well, basically because they have a direct impact on your balance sheet. They're putting dollars in your pocket by using the data. But Snowflake is traded on 100x sales to price. And these guys are on 20x sales to price. Just based on that, you can clearly see that it's not overvalued. If anything, it has 5x potential because they're as good as Snowflake as far as the value they can provide to clients. So to call them overvalued, I think is a misunderstanding of their business. Not to say that they're perfect, they have a lot of issues. For example, they have a very funky corporate structure where the founders actually keep control even though they're selling more and more shares. They have a very concentrated client structure where a lot of money is coming from a little bit of clients, which is not healthy. There's a lot of issues with ICE and whatnot as far as morality questions. There's a lot of stuff here that are not perfect. However, based on the fundamentals, based on their balance sheet, based on the tech, understanding just a little bit of it, you can clearly see that if you want to look into the future, these guys have at least a 5x potential over the next 2 to 3 years, if not more. And if you're thinking about the AI market within a few years, it's supposed to be $130 billion, these guys are going to take a lot of this market. They're going to grab a major market share. So right there and then, you see the valuation actually makes sense. However, think about it more. ARK Invest are in, always a good sign. They have been at it for 17 years. The CEO is the original founder. He's still there. Not to mention, they only now started going for corporate clients. They pretty much worked with governments all the way through. They're already killing it. They're going to go to 70-80% of their business on the corporate side within the next 2 to 3 years, easy. Not to mention the fact that these guys have a very good networking relationship with governmental authorities, meaning there's not going to be any regulatory issues because they're friends with all the guys who make the decisions. Not that it's good or bad, I'm not making a moral judgment, I'm just calling it like I see it. But beyond all of that, beyond all of these signals, there's one trait which I think makes them extremely valuable, and that is their COVID plus one. If you remember in my theory, I call the COVID plus one companies the companies that do better in a crisis. This company has the exact same set of products that is mostly suited for a time of uncertainty, a time of crisis, a time of changing environments. What they have is a tool that will allow you to make better decisions at times of uncertainty, which is pretty much exactly what's going on with the pandemic. So to say that this company is overvalued when they're the only ones who have a product like that, which is so suited to handle what's going on with the global pandemic right now, is just a misunderstanding of what they actually do. And I get it. A lot of people went into FOMO mode and bought their shares like crazy. Now, honestly, I don't think they should have had a $12 jump within a matter of days. And people who bought it based on FOMO are licking their wounds right now, rightfully. That's not logical. We have to be logical as long-term investors. So even if you bought it at $28 or $27 and you agree with what I said as far as long-term potential, you don't sell right now because it went down. Simple. But if you disagree with me, or you're a swing trader, or you're a day trader, that's a whole nother enchilada, my brother. The real concern about Palantir is the scalability of their business. Can they make it into an automated, autopilot product they don't have to daily manage? And if the answer is yes, their valuation is going through the roof. But if the answer is no, they're just a services company, and that means they're not going to go huge. Which one is going to happen? I don't know. I'm not a prophet. But based on the information I see, based on my analytics skills, I'm saying it's more likely than not that this company will go big. It is my opinion. As always, a huge thanks to our channel members, our Patreons, everybody who's been supporting us. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next video.